Bird Box. What the hell happened, man? Let's theorize. So first of all, there was no specific explanation as to what the monster demon things that make everyone's cheese slip off their crackers actually are, but there are some clues scattered throughout the film that may give us some insight. But the film was made with specific ambiguity, probably with the intent to get everyone talking about it so that more people go and see it so that they make more money. A conspiracy at the highest level! The highest level, I say! But regardless, it was a pretty cool concept and pretty fresh. Except not really. Hey, Jeff, remember that movie where nobody can fart out loud? I mean, make a sound?
Yeah, that Quiet Place movie. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, so what if no one can make a sight? Nah, that doesn't make any sense, as Bird Box was adapted for screen from the 2014 book of the same title written by Josh Malaman, while work on the screenplay for A Quiet Place didn't take place until 2 years later in 2016 or something. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's talk about the insanity plague and what it could possibly be. But before that, quick plot! An antisocial, agoraphobic, probably depressed, borderline sociopath, Sandra Bullock plays the role of a woman who puts her life on the line to defend her children from a near invisible evil that turns people suicidally insane when glanced upon. See what I did there? I was like, Sandra Bullock's the sociopath, no, not the character. Anyway, this weird ghost thing when looked upon makes people kill themselves, or in some rare cases makes people their servant of sorts, who then go about trying to force other people to convert into insanity or downright murder the shit out of them. Mallory, played by Sandra Bullock, and others soon realize that in order to remain sane, they cannot look at whatever it is that turns the people, so they remove their own sight by blindfolding themselves, except when indoors, because not unlike vampires, the ghost things can't enter buildings or something, but more on that in a bit. The movie is set over several time periods and is mostly told in retrospect several years after the outbreak, where we see Mallory and two snotty kids trying to make their way down a river to an alleged sanctuary. And that's about it. Not only must Mallory and the kids work their way through a dangerous world blindfolded in order to avoid going insane, they must also avoid crazy people who are out to either kill them or turn them insane as well, in which case they will most likely end up killing themselves, and it's all very scary. But you watched the movie and know all that already, so let's talk about the ending and then theorize on the ghost things. So we learn early that the title of the movie is referencing the fact that when the ghost wraith things come near, the birds start freaking out and flapping about and squawking their little heads off. So Mallory has a few budgies or something. What am I, an ornithologist? I don't know what the fuck kind of birds they are. The point is, she keeps some little birds in a box that she keeps on her at all times. They act as a warning, an alarm basically, when the demon ghosts are near. A scary thing about the demons is that they get inside your head and cause hallucinations which can manipulate you in a manner of ways, but more on that in a bit. So yeah, it's important to know when they are near, so that you are not tricked into thinking something is there that actually is not. So the birds are very useful. Say for example you are having a pastrami sandwich, minding your own business, then a voice behind you says, dude, can I have some of that pastrami? And you look behind you to hand the familiar voice a thin slice of delicious pastrami, and then you realize that the voice is from Jeff, your long dead lover of yesteryear. Whoops, too late bitch, you took the blindfold off and looked at the ghost thing and then proceeded to jump to your death out a window. Y'all dead. Well, if you had the birds and they started freaking out when Jeff asks you for some pastrami, you can be like, shit, this is probably hallucination because the birds are losing their shit. Also, Jeff never even liked pastrami. In fact, he hated the stuff. Oh yeah, he's also been dead for 5 years. Keeping the blindfold on, bam, the bird box just saved your life and the delicious pastrami. So that's why Mallory keeps the birds around. So at the end of the film, Mallory defies all odds and she and the children end up in a sanctuary in the middle of the woods. The sanctuary is actually a former school for the blind and is full of people and birds. Bird Box does an interesting thing here. It turns what we consider to be a disadvantage, blindness, unless of course you're a daredevil, into an advantage. If you can't see, you can't be corrupted by the alien ghost monster things. So the school for the blind is actually full of people, blind and sighted alike. They keep a ton of birds around in a massive atrium which serves as an aviary to warn the sighted people when the ghosts are near. They also probably shit all over everything and everyone, which would suck if you were blind because you might not even know you've been shat on by one of the many birds in the sanctuary. Oh well, a small price for survival I suppose, and they all live happily ever after. Except in the books, because the books is a little bit darker. When Mallory arrives at the sanctuary, she finds out that a lot of the sighted people actually cut out their own eyes so that they could never be corrupted. It's pretty gruesome. They don't do that in the movie, which kind of sucks, but anyway. So we never learn what the ghost things actually are, which I like because I hate how everything is spelled out in movies all the time, pandering to the lowest unimaginative denominator, but these days I am noticing a resurgence in ambiguous endings, especially in sci-fi, which is refreshing eye-catchingly pleasing. However, there are some clues as to what the mind-melting ghosts could be. Some speculate that it could be a government experiment gone wrong, an alien invasion, a drug released organically, not unlike the scenario that took place in the best Mark Wahlberg movie of all time, The Happening. But there are better theories around. One of the biggest clues we have is the drawings made by Gary. As we never actually see the monsters, all we have to go on, at least visually, are his pictures. Some of them appear to have tentacles, slits for eyes, multiple legs and or tails, very representative of H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu, who is said to cause madness when looked upon. Looking at world religion, there are notable demons that are said to come and cleanse the world when its inhabitants, us dudes, become immoral. The rapture from Christianity comes to mind. Ancient Middle Eastern religious monsters like Akamana from Zoroastrianism share similarities, and there are many more. The fact that the monsters can only interfere with our minds and not with the physical realm leads some to speculate that they are multi-dimensional beings trying to force their way into our world. Like, they can't open doors or take off the blindfold or even flip up a blanket. They seem to struggle even passing through mere air. But one thing we do know is that whatever it is, there are more than one of them. So again, we never learn what they actually are, but it's implied that they are probably some kind of demon trying to wipe the earth of the wicked and the immoral. But I have a better theory. My theory is that the demons are actually wayward farts that have escaped the most vile of flatulators. Over the years, they have drawn together, combining, gaining strength and stench until one day they become so dense, complex and powerful that they gain sentience, even super intelligence. Believing themselves superior to us humans, the sentient super farts decide to make their move. The age of humanity is at its end. The world belongs to the farts now. Using their advanced telepathic power, the smart farts start eliminating humans, wiping them off the face of the earth to make way for the new world order. Pretty sure that's what's going on in this movie. Anyway, let me know what you think. Are the ghosts a mere shared hallucination? A religious demon cleansing the earth? Aliens invading? Government experiment gone wrong? Sentient super farts bent on world domination? Or something else? Leave a comment and let's get a friendly discussion going. Thanks for watching, friends. Schmidt.